Hi guys, and welcome to episode 2 of In Conversation with Cal. Today we will be sitting down with a preeminent business personality in Colombo. He is the MD of the Sunshine Group as well as the chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, Vish Govindasamy. Vish, to start off with, we'll start off with a question fairly close to home. Talk us through the Sunshine Group's plans for the next 5 to 10 years. I know you guys have made great strides recently. What are some of the sectors that you'd like to diversify into going forward?
Sunshine Holdings' vision is to be the most admired conglomerate in Sri Lanka. Being a conglomerate means that we are in various businesses. We are in the healthcare sector, we are in the consumer sector, and we are in the agri sector. And our ambition in the short term is to become a $100 million company, let's say in 5 years. And the sectors that we are very bullish in is our healthcare sector, and we would like to expand into manufacturing locally. So we'll be spending a lot of capex in the manufacturing of healthcare, and at the same time we will expand in our FMCG or consumer sector. Another sector which is close to our heart is the dairy business that we have started. The back end of the business, which is the farming, has now come to a very good stage, and therefore we would now look into going into value addition.
Nice. So lots of exciting things to come. Moving on to question 2, and this is a fairly contentious question which is on the minds of our investors as well, no doubt. The proposed fertilizer ban. How does this affect the plantation sector and your business? And are there also any measures you've put in place to smoothen this transition if the ban is not subsequently reversed?
So the banning of fertilizer by the government of Sri Lanka is not only for the plantation sector, it is for the entire agriculture sector in Sri Lanka. So it's a regulation like any other regulation, whether it's a tax regulation, a finance regulation, or a law. We as good citizens, we have to obey the law first. I believe in complying and complaining. So to comply, our plantations, we have already started using the organic fertilizer that we produce in our dairy farm. We have started using it even earlier because as a measure to cut cost of and being dependent on chemical fertilizer, we had started it a year ago, but now because it's a regulation that we have increased the use of organic fertilizer. Of course, it will have bearing on our yields. It will reduce the yields initially. It will increase our costs because application costs of organic fertilizer is a lot higher than normal chemical fertilizer. But listen, like anything else, we have to deal with it. It's the law of the land. We obey first. We will continue to lobby with the government of Sri Lanka, and hopefully they will be able to change their mind and look at the positives and get back to a win-win situation between the companies and the government.
Thank you. That was very informative, and no doubt we'll see some back and forth on this going forward as well. Right, moving into the future, into a post-COVID viewpoint. I know we are still very much in COVID, but looking ahead as to when we will get out of this pandemic, what are some of the benefits and the opportunities you see for not only the Sunshine Group but Sri Lankan businesses overall as we move out of the worst of this pandemic and come into a stage of economic recovery?
So COVID-19 has basically taught businesses how to work differently and not to take things for granted, or what we used to call normal is no longer normal. So we have learned how to conduct our businesses in a very challenging time. The advantages are there are lots of cost reductions that we have made. Maybe the typical brick and mortar that we used to have to hold our people maybe is going to be a lot less in the future. We know how to conduct our businesses from our homes. Similarly, production in the supply chain, not to be dependent on one supply chain or one large country. It has taught us this huge lesson on how to do this. And also, there used to be a time when we were taught on just a ready supply chain mechanism. It's no longer going to work that way. We need to have adequate stocks of our products because if there is a pandemic like this, then we need to react quickly. So overall, I think the opportunities are making things or make things in Sri Lanka. A lot more local production will begin because of the entire COVID thing, and this is happening worldwide. Most of the countries are not being dependent on importing things into the country. So innovation, making it in your own nation is all new things that for businesses that has come into because of COVID-19, and mostly preserving cash. Cash is king. You need to have cash when there is a crisis. The people who did not have cash are in debt are the most suffering. So you will learn how to preserve cash.
Fantastic. That was very insightful. Fourth and final question of today, and you can take this in any direction you'd like. If there is one piece of advice you could give to a young professional or a young entrepreneur who's just starting off on their journey, what would it be?
My single piece of advice to any professional starting off in their career today is attitude. If you have the right attitude, anything is possible. You could have the best degree from the best university, you could be having everything, but if you don't have the right attitude, then in your professional career, you're not going to do well. So have the right attitude, work hard, play hard, and you will do well.